I like Uldir. Not the raid, but I like
Uldir?
how the Titany stuff looked in Uldir.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, I didn't actually raid Uldir at all, but I at least saw you
I
do
did.
it.
Wasn't very nice. Didn't enjoy it.
I like that. I like how Mother looks. I really like Antorus and those bits when you're going down the Temple of Elune.
Nice, yeah.
That was so fucking cool.
Oh, that was Tombs of Grass, but yeah.
Originally, it was a Temple of Elune.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that wasn't Uldir.
I'm a dickhead.
But yeah.
For these, it looks like Ulduar. It looks like Wintergrasp. It looks like the Titan stuff that I really liked at the start. And I like the new stuff, but I think this does represent a more broad thing where they want to return to a grounded high fantasy story. That sounds like such an oxymoron. Right? A grounded high fantasy story. I think for them it just means grounded in the traditional high fantasy of Warcraft. Maybe with a bit of the patterns, fractals, geometry stuff benched.
Yeah, well, that's
Seems
the
like
thing.
we're
It's
seeing
like,
that in the zone design too.
yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, I think high fantasy tends to be sometimes mostly fairly grounded in the stories it's telling. It's like they have like very, very grandiose kind of like ideals in them sometime, but that's usually like backdrop and setting stuff as opposed to the main story. It's like, I mean, I suppose you're thinking about you're thinking about the like the Aerial Iluvatar and like the Song of Creation from Tolkien stuff, and it's like that wasn't a part of Lord of the Rings. Like,
Yeah.
it just wasn't.
But even it was myth.
Yeah.
Imagine if Tolkien had... Yeah, imagine if, I don't know, in the Silmarillion just had an appendix that was the explanation of the mechanics of all of this from an objective scientist's perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost trying to give a sciencey explanation to the myth so people could understand, well, what is the Son of Creation? How does that work? What's the intersection of the stuff of the... And then that would have ruined it. So
Well, I actually don't think that would have... I don't think I technically would have ruined it, but that would have been... But the thing is that would have been an explanation in the Silmarillion. It's like if Chronicles had a bunch of stuff saying, okay, well, here's the foundations of like how magic is kind of oriented, and that wasn't relevant to the plot at fucking all, that's fine. It's just the fact that like the A plot of Shadowlands was very much, oh, this stuff is all very important and we're going to throw it at you loads. It's like the idea isn't necessarily bad. It's just the execution of it being weaved through the story is bad. And that's the problem they faced of going, well, we're going to make you as players deal with all of like here's how the whole world works. And here's like the fundamentals of how, the afterlives are sorted and how that's like inherently unjust. You're like, if you're going to like subject your players to a philosophical lesson, make sure it's a good one. Otherwise they won't care about it. And now they're like, fuck this philosophizing about the nature of the universe. Have some characters doing some character stuff. Have like a small threat. Have some, grounded relationships. Have like a tiny bit of like kind of, not literally politics as people tend to talk about in the day, but, political relationships of like, are the Centaur going to try to step into Tuskar ground and we have to mediate that? That's the shit people want. People don't want the Titans are going to return and rewrite the laws of reality or some shit. It's going to be like, how do these people get on?
Yeah, it's not. Bros, Zovaal's going to change the Planck constant. What are we going to do? Oh no, not the Planck constant.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. All Zovaal was trying to do was turn up gravity so you couldn't fly anymore.
That is it. We got the size of the Dragon Isles. Talked about this a little bit before, but there's just some comment on them that's, I think, quite good. Here's an example. In how we lay things out, there's a lot more space in the Dragon Isles than in many of our recent expansion zones. A lot of negative space in a way that I think makes the world feel more real or more alive and real.
Thank you, sweet baby Jesus.
It's a place that exists in which stories occur as opposed to a place that was crafted to tell a specific story.
Hey, that is
Perfect
almost
line.
Literally what everyone's been saying about how Shadowlands felt.
Yeah, perfect line. I'm just so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
One of the things in the past that's led us to more compact zones is just the convenience of travel and how players are going to get around. And then that's the tricky thing, because they want their gameplay from a grounded position, but then they don't want to make people feel too bad, like they really need flying, and oh no, Dragon Flight. And yeah, they're basically just saying, but when we know that you've just gone and reached the top of a cliff over there, you can hop in your Drake Companion and dive bomb, gain a ton of momentum towards the ground and glide your way to turn back in the quest. Suddenly, it's much easier to deliver that immersive world setting without feeling like gameplay mechanics are fighting against it.
Like that is such a cool idea. Like, you're climbing a mountain at I guess the ultimate stage of a quest or something, and you're going to go back and turn in like 5 or 6 quests after this, and you're climbing the mountain and you're just thinking the whole time, oh, I'm going to get the jump off this. This is so good. You kind of already have that existing with like gliders and stuff, but they're slow. Being able to do this, but actually have it be gameplay returning is way nice. Way nice.
And more here. This is with Os Gamers and Jeremy Fiesel just saying, we want to create zones that feel like they hit the level of vastness that you would want in a place where dragons exist. Yeah. Almost everything has to be a little bigger, a little wider. You want to have those giant rolling plains where a dragon can swoop down and munch up a whole bunch of primal sheep. Yep. Now you just have the idea of like, oh yeah, I guess how do calories work for, say, Alexstrasza and Kalecgos?
I mean, everyone has always... I mean, I think I saw this a while ago around the announcement on Twitter where someone's like, what if a dragon eats loads and then transforms back? Like, how does that fit? And everyone's just like, shut the fuck up, it's magic.
There's a very specific part of the internet dedicated to such questions.
Exactly.
We wanted to try to spread back out again, get some of, again, good words, that classic Stranglethorn Vale feel. Yep. Do you remember the first time you went to STV?
Yep.
I do.
The screen was grey for weeks.
Huge expanses of trees in between spaces where we can have wildlife and really cool POIs. Characters that might be lost out there, little vignettes to discover. There's just more.
Yeah.
Then also there's Judge Hype, which is translated from French, again, just saying it's one of the largest continents they've ever offered players. So to me, this all just screams, holy fuck, it might feel like a world.
Might.
Instead of a Disney World.
Indeed.
And I say that there's actually so much of theme park design that is fucking good to look at if you're ever thinking about world design and video game design. The layout of things in theme parks, just everything. Seriously. So yeah, if you're a game designer, you're interested in like levels and stuff, think about how like some of those parks are built. Actually learn lessons.
Yeah,
it's cool.
You could. Or fuck the real world to make your video games fantastical, thanks. If you ever look at real world influences for your games, you're a fraud and a hack.
Ah, that's it. Yeah.
Disclaimer, that is complete sarcasm. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's it. Show the man photogrammetry and he'll scream and explode.